There are three specific ages in a woman's life when her desire for a relationship peaks, and this is not random, not merely emotional, but rooted in psychology and biology. If you are a man who does not understand these windows, you will keep misreading women your entire life. Most men believe women want relationships consistently throughout their lives. That is wrong. Research tells a completely different story. Developmental psychologists studying female relationship motivation across age groups have found something most people never discuss openly. A woman's need for partnership does not flow steadily. It surges in three distinct, predictable windows. And what she is looking for inside each window is completely different. What they found surprised everyone in the room. The first window spans ages 18 to 22. This is the exploration phase. Her brain's prefrontal cortex, the part governing long-term thinking, is still developing. It does not fully mature until around age 25. She lives almost entirely in the present. She wants experience, romance, excitement. She is not thinking about 5 years from now. She is thinking about tonight. At this age, she is not choosing a life partner. She is collecting experiences, and the man she is drawn to reflects exactly that. Someone who makes right now feel electric. Research shows that for females only, adolescents' need for stimulation peaks around age 18 or 19, and then declines. This is the age of intensity, of novelty, of the thrill of the unknown. She is not auditing you for long-term viability. She is not evaluating your character or future potential. She is asking one question: does this feel alive right now? But here's where it gets even more interesting. The second window is ages 25 to 30. Everything shifts. Her social circle is changing around her. Friends are marrying, having children. The biological clock, which neuroscientists confirm, is not a myth, but a measurable hormonal shift, begins creating low-grade urgency. Columbia University researchers studying female pair bonding found that women in this window do not just want companionship. They begin unconsciously auditing men for long-term viability, stability, character, and future potential. The same woman who chased excitement at 21 is now evaluating entirely different qualities at 28. You're not just observing this pattern. If you have ever felt a woman suddenly change her standards or her energy, this is exactly why. Consistent with family formation goals, age is associated with an ideal partner's parenting intentions, which remain high until approximately age 30, and then decrease afterward. The woman who once wanted a bad boy now wants a provider. The woman who once craved spontaneity now craves stability. She is not being inconsistent. She is being developmental. Her priorities have shifted because her life stage has shifted, and the man who does not understand this will find himself baffled by her sudden change in what she wants. The third window is ages 38 to 45. This one is the most misunderstood. She has lived, she has built, she has possibly loved and lost. And now she faces a choice most women describe as the clearest moment of their lives. She stops wanting to be impressed and starts wanting to be safe. Not financially safe, but emotionally safe. A man who is steady, present, real. Psychologists call this the authenticity shift, where superficial attraction loses almost all power and depth, becomes the only currency that matters. Socio-emotional selectivity theory posits that as people age, they prioritize immediate emotional satisfaction due to perceptions of limited time. This shift influences older adults' romantic relationships, increasing the likelihood of seeking meaningful connections and reducing the prevalence of negative emotions. Older adults are more likely to prefer partners who provide meaningful emotional experiences, accompanied by immediate rewards rather than considering possibilities, such as whether the partner would be an ideal future parent or their likely earning potential. Women after 40 often emphasize chemistry, shared humor, intellectual stimulation, and emotional safety over youth or looks alone. Authenticity, honesty, and emotional openness become the foundation of emotional safety. The romantic bar gets higher. They want partners who listen without defensiveness, check in without prompting, and communicate honestly. They want partners who admire their confidence, intelligence, humor, and emotional maturity. Depth beats drama every time. Here's the warning every man needs to hear. If you meet a woman in any of these windows and you do not understand what she actually needs at that stage, you will mistake her behavior for something personal. You will think she is complicated. You will think she is confusing. She is not. She is simply operating on a timeline you were never taught to read. The brutal truth is this: a woman who seems deeply invested in you during one window may genuinely outgrow that need. Not because you failed, but because her window changed. The men who never get blindsided are the men who understand this and who build connections based on genuine alignment, not just timing. The right question was never, what does she want? It was always, where is she in her story? Let us go deeper into each of these windows, because understanding them on a surface level is not enough. You need to internalize them. You need to live them. The first window, ages 18 to 22, is a time of exploration and discovery. Her brain is still developing. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, self-control, and judgment, is not fully mature. She is not thinking about the long-term consequences of her decisions. She is living in the moment, driven by emotion and impulse. This is the age of experimentation, of trying on different identities, of figuring out who she is and what she wants. She is not looking for a life partner. She is looking for experiences that feel alive, that make her heart race, that give her stories to tell. The man who wins at this stage is not the one who offers stability or security. He is the one who offers excitement, who makes her feel something, who creates memories she will carry with her. He is not necessarily the best choice for a long-term relationship. He is the best choice for right now, and that is what she wants. But as she moves into her mid-20s, everything changes. The second window, ages 25 to 30, is a time of transition and evaluation. Her social circle is shifting. Friends are getting married. Friends are having children. She sees the clock, not just the biological clock, but the social clock. She feels the pressure to find a partner, to settle down, to build a life, and she begins to evaluate men differently. She is no longer asking, "Does this feel exciting?" She is asking, "Can I build a life with this person? Is he stable? Is he reliable? Does he have a future?" This is the age of family formation goals. She is thinking about children, about marriage, about the kind of life she wants to create, and she is looking for a man who can help her create that life. The man who wins at this stage is the one who has his act together, who has direction, who is reliable and trustworthy. He is not necessarily the most exciting man in the room. He is the most solid. Then comes the third window, ages 38 to 45. This is the age of authenticity. She has lived. She has loved. She has lost. She has built a career. She has raised children. She has done all the things she was supposed to do. And now she is asking herself a different question. What do I actually want? Not what does society want for me? Not what does my family want for me? Not what does my partner want for me? What do I want? This is the age of the authenticity shift. She stops wanting to be impressed and starts wanting to be safe. She stops wanting excitement and starts wanting peace. She stops wanting performance and starts wanting presence. She is no longer interested in the man who tries to impress her with his accomplishments or his charm. She is interested in the man who is simply himself, who is steady, who is real. The man who wins at this stage is the one who is grounded, who is emotionally available, who is not trying to prove anything. He is the one who can sit with her in silence without needing to fill it with words. He is the one who can be vulnerable without being weak. He is the one who can be strong without being controlling. He is the one who can love her without needing to own her. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, though not a Stoic, observed that anxiety is the dizziness of freedom, and in each of these windows, a woman experiences a different kind of freedom. In the first window, she is free to explore, free to experiment, free to make mistakes, and that freedom is dizzying. In the second window, she is free to choose, free to evaluate, free to decide who she wants to build a life with, and that freedom is also dizzying. In the third window, she is free to be herself, free to stop performing, free to prioritize her own needs. And that freedom is the most dizzying of all. The man who understands these windows does not try to force her into a box. He does not try to make her want what she does not want. He meets her where she is and respects the stage she is in. But here's the danger. Many men, when they encounter a woman in any of these windows, try to force a connection that is not aligned with where she is. They try to make her commit when she is not ready. They try to make her settle down when she still wants to explore. They try to make her feel safe when she still craves excitement. And this mismatch creates friction. It creates confusion. It creates frustration. And ultimately, it creates rejection. The man who understands these windows knows that timing is everything. He knows that the same woman who is not interested in a long-term relationship at 22 may be desperate for one at 28. He knows that the same woman who wanted excitement at 25 may want peace at 40. He does not take it personally. He simply understands that she is operating on a different timeline. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic, wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a woman's thoughts are colored by the stage of life she is in, her soul reflects that, and others will feel it. They will sense that she is looking for something different at different times. And that sense of evolution is not a sign of inconsistency. It is a sign of growth. Now, let us talk about what this means for you as a man. If you are in your 20s, you are likely encountering women in the first and second windows. If you are in your 30s, you are likely encountering women in the second and third windows. If you are in your 40s or beyond, you are likely encountering women in the third window, and each of these encounters requires a different approach. If you are in your 20s and you meet a woman in the first window, do not try to lock her down. She is not ready. She is still exploring. She is still figuring out who she is. If you try to force commitment, you will push her away. Instead, enjoy the connection for what it is. Be present. Be exciting. Be the man who makes her feel alive right now. And if it is meant to be, she will come back to you when she is ready. If you are in your 20s and you meet a woman in the second window, understand that she is looking for something different. She is looking for stability. She is looking for direction. She is looking for a man who has his act together. If you are still figuring out your life, if you are still drifting, she will not see you as a viable partner. She will see you as a project, and she does not want a project. She wants a partner. If you are in your 30s and you meet a woman in the second or third window, you need to be clear about who you are and what you want. Women in these windows do not have time for games. They do not have time for ambiguity. They want to know where they stand. If you are not sure if you are still figuring it out, they will move on. They do not have the luxury of waiting. If you are in your 40s or beyond and you meet a woman in the third window, understand that she is looking for something different than she was before. She is not looking for excitement. She is looking for peace. She is not looking for performance. She is looking for presence. She is not looking for someone who will try to impress her. She is looking for someone who will simply be with her. The man who wins at this stage is the one who is grounded, who is emotionally available, who is not trying to prove anything. He is the one who can sit with her in silence without needing to fill it with words. He is the one who can be vulnerable without being weak. He is the one who can be strong without being controlling. He is the one who can love her without needing to own her. The philosopher Seneca, another great Stoic, wrote that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. When you waste your time trying to force a connection that is not aligned with where she is, you are wasting the opportunity to find a connection that is. Now, let us talk about the hidden signals women send during each of these windows that most men completely miss. In the first window, the signal is intensity. She is looking for excitement. She is looking for passion. She is looking for someone who makes her feel alive. The signal is not subtle. She will laugh at your jokes. She will touch your arm. She will stay up late talking to you. She will make plans with you. She is not trying to hide her interest. She is showing it openly. But here's the trap. Many men mistake this intensity for deep connection. They think that because she is so excited now, she will be excited forever. But the intensity of the first window is not the same as the commitment of the second or the depth of the third. It is a phase. And when the phase passes, the intensity fades. The man who understands this does not take it personally. He enjoys it while it lasts and lets it go when it ends. In the second window, the signal is evaluation. She is looking for stability. She is looking for direction. She is looking for a man who has his act together. The signal is more subtle. She will ask about your job. She will ask about your future. She will watch how you handle stress. She will notice how you treat other people. She is not just enjoying your company. She is evaluating you. She is trying to figure out if you are a viable long-term partner. The man who understands this does not try to impress her with flashy gestures. He does not try to win her over with charm. He shows her who he is and lets her decide. He is honest about his strengths and his weaknesses. He does not pretend to be something he is not, because she is not looking for a performance. She is looking for a partner. In the third window, the signal is depth. She is looking for peace. She is looking for presence. She is looking for a man who is real. The signal is the subtle of all. She will not be impressed by your achievements. She will not be swayed by your charm. She will not be won over by your efforts to impress her. She is looking for something deeper. She is looking for a man who is comfortable in his own skin. She is looking for a man who does not need to prove anything. She is looking for a man who can be still. The man who understands this does not try to impress her. He does not try to win her over. He simply shows up as himself. He is present. He is grounded. He is real. And she will feel that. She will feel the difference between performance and presence. And that is what will draw her to him. The philosopher Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoics, taught that no great thing is created suddenly, and the kind of presence that draws a woman in the third window is no exception. It is built through the accumulation of moments, each one building on the last. Each time you choose presence over performance, you build that presence. Each time you choose stillness over striving, you build that presence. And as you build it, it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your presence, and that presence is what will draw others to you. Now, let us address the question that is probably on your mind. What if you are a man who is in one window and the woman you are interested in is in another. What if you are 25 and she is 40? What if you are 40 and she is 25? The truth is that age gaps can work, but they require a different kind of understanding. If you are significantly older than her, you need to understand that she is in a different stage of life. She may be looking for excitement while you are looking for peace. She may be looking for experience while you are looking for connection. And if you are not aware of this, you will misread each other. You will think she is not interested when she is just in a different place. You will think she is not committed when she is just not ready. The key is communication. You need to talk about where you are in your lives. You need to understand each other's timelines, and you need to be honest about what you want and what you are willing to give. But here's the deeper truth. The age windows are not rigid. They are not destiny. They are patterns, and patterns can be broken. A woman in her early 20s can be ready for a long-term commitment. A woman in her late 30s can still want excitement. A woman in her 40s can still be figuring out who she is. The windows are not prison bars. They are guideposts. They are useful for understanding general tendencies, but they do not define every individual. The most important thing is to pay attention to the person in front of you, not her age, not her stage, her. What does she want? What does she need? What is she looking for? If you pay attention, she will tell you, not always with words, but with her actions, her energy, her presence. The philosopher Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught that the goal of life is to live in agreement with nature, and it is human nature to seek connection, but it is also human nature to evolve, to change, to grow. When you understand a woman's windows, you are understanding her nature. You are understanding where she is in her journey, and that understanding is the foundation of genuine connection. If this cracked something open for you, the next step is to go deeper into the hidden signals women send during each of these windows that most men completely miss. That knowledge could change everything. It could change how you see women. It could change how you relate to them. It could change how you build connections. Because when you understand the windows, you stop guessing, you stop wondering, you start knowing. And that knowing is what makes all the difference. There is no greater gift you can give a woman than to understand where she is in her journey, not to judge her, not to manipulate her, not to use it against her, but to truly see her, to meet her where she is, to walk with her. That is what it means to be a man of presence. That is what it means to be a man of wisdom. That is what it means to be a man who understands the heart of a woman. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus, who profoundly influenced Epictetus, wrote that we should not use our words to command, but to persuade and to teach. When you understand a woman's windows, you are not commanding her to be different. You are persuading her that you see her. You are teaching her that you understand. And that understanding, more than anything, is what will make her trust you, respect you, and desire you.